Alright, Jimmy Garoppolo and the Las Vegas Raiders offense are going to be fine, but they got to play better on defense to do well this year. The Raiders were actually good against the run last year with middle linebacker Denzel Perryman in the lineup, but he's had a problem staying in the lineup. That's why the Raiders replaced him with Robert Spillane, the same type of player but healthier. But with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert in the division, the Raiders need to play better pass defense, and for that to happen, Max Crosby needs help. Safety Marcus Epps was brought in to help on the back end, but the Raiders are going to need a few players to break out if they're going to have the kind of pass defense they need to compete with the quarterbacks in the AFC West. Here are 4 players that I really believe can and needs a breakout for the Raiders this year. Let's start up front with interior defensive lineman Jerry Tillery. You saw the good he did the Raider pass rush when they traded for him last year. Before Tillery got there, the Raiders had 10 sacks in their first 9 games, which is horrible. Then when Tillery got there, they racked up 15 sacks in their first 4 games with him. Unfortunately, the Raiders couldn't keep that up because injuries to linebackers Divine Diablo and Denzel Perryman caused them to give up 163 yards rushing per game. You can't rush the passer if you can't stop the run. How does the saying go? You earn the right to rush the passer by stopping the run, and the Raiders didn't do that the last 4 games. Either way, Tillery looked like a nice addition to the Raider pass rush last year, but the 2019 first round pick needs to break out this year for the Raiders to have that defense they need to make a playoff run. So what does a breakout season look like for Tillery? He'll be taking double teams like he started to last year, and the sacks will come from the edge, so I'll say around 45 pressures and 6 to 7 sacks. He improved against the run last year, and he'll have to do so even more this year. Edge rusher Tyree Wilson is a phenomenal talent the Raiders just couldn't pass up at number 7 overall. The only reason why he fell to the Raiders is he's coming off of foot surgery just like Garoppolo. However, Wilson's surgery was in December, not March, and he was cleared for football activities back in April. Therefore, he'll get his offseason work in and have a full training camp. This is very important because the Raiders need him to break out right away for this to work out, and he can. For him to be an elite edge rusher, he really needs to learn the nuances of pass rushing and add a few moves to his tool bag. But with his speed, length, power, and versatility to rush from the interior, he can have the type of immediate breakout year the Raiders need him to have. What does that look like for Wilson? Those tackles in the AFC West are going to have trouble with his length, especially LA Chargers left tackle Rashad Slater and his short arms. So I expect him to get around 70 pressures and somewhere in the double digits in sacks. Yeah, this kid definitely has to make some noise for the Raiders to have a defense worthy of making the playoffs, and I believe he will. Now we climb to the second level of the defense. Linebacker Divine Diablo is a converted safety drafted in the 3rd round of the 2023 NFL Draft. NFL teams are turning college safeties into linebackers for their coverage abilities, as you know. But for whatever the reason, Diablo's money as a run stuffer and has not quite proved to be the coverage linebacker he was drafted to be. In year 1, Diablo didn't start right away, but played well when he did. He played really well down the stretch of that 2021 season that got them into the playoffs. He's a will and started a couple of games and injured Denzel Perryman instead at Mike that year, and the defense didn't miss a beat. He showed he's versatile and tough against the run despite a strong safety background. In 2022, he showed a little improvement in pass coverage, but he only played in 8 games. Now the Raiders need a breakout season from Diablo, particularly in that pass coverage department. With linebackers that can cover, the Raiders can run all that man coverage they like to run. Diablo ran a 4.45 40 at 6'3", 230 pounds and posted a 7-second flat 3 cone drill at his pro day, so the ability is there. Now we're on to the corner position, and the Raiders are more talented than you think there. Tyler Hall performed well in the slot, then outside when Rocky Ya-Sin got hurt last year. He'll probably win the job in the slot this year. Nate Hobbs is actually a star in the slot as a rookie in 2021, but defensive coordinator Patrick Graham wants him outside. That size and speed has something to do with that. Hobbs started last year off strong outside, giving up a passer rating of 75.6 the first 4 games. Then he broke his wrist in week 5 and wasn't the same, giving up a passer rating of 125.4. It appears now that Graham's going to give him another shot at an outside corner spot this year. As of right now, he's the number 1 corner, so the Raiders definitely need him to break out this year. He has the ability to do it as he has the feet and agility to play in the slot and the size and speed to play outside. We just never really got to see what he can do last year because of that broken wrist. Hopefully he can stay healthy this year because he can line up on both sides and in the slot, so you can't get your best receiver away from him. The Raider defense hasn't been good in a long time, but they've added some talent to that side of the ball the last couple of off seasons. They're much better and deeper at corner, but Nate Hobbs needs to break out and be that shutdown corner he can be. Tillery brought the heat from the interior, then started to take double teams last year. Chandler Jones got to the quarterback more frequently when he arrived last year, but Tillery's going to have to get even better next year. And I don't like to put too much pressure on rookies, but Wilson has to bring it right away for this defense to improve as much as it needs to. Jones had a bad year and got injured last year and didn't get younger, so those are the 4 guys I think the Raiders need to break out the most. Thank you for watching. See you next time.